not even turned it that way. Oh, see, in the face with it. You're lucky that's all that.
What do you guys think? The ignition crew right here. Amazing job, ladies. Have fun. If you see them around the track, feel free to take pictures with them. They're ready to have a great time here at Daytona.
Well, thank you, Monica, and to the NASCAR ignition crew. Something new on the NASCAR circuit this year. And a great dance by them. And yes, we are all here for the party. Right now, not such a fun party, Jim, for William Byron, the back-to-back Daytona 500 champion, having a hard time right now on pit road.
Started in 39th and was caught up in the first incident, turn 3, when BJ McLeod spun. This is the second trip down pit road for the defending Daytona 500 champion. They look at their front nose and look through the binoculars. They're trying to tape the hood to the nose and also the undertray. They had some tape there ready to go to perhaps cover an air gap that may be developing below the grill opening, which is a huge issue when it comes to aerodynamics at 200 miles per hour here at Daytona.
Let's go down to the
We are all that excited too, because this is the Daytona 500. Everybody coming back down the pit lane. Everybody splashed the fuel. We saw how that played out in stage 1, and we're a couple of laps already into the second stage, so that will make things a little bit more manageable here in the second stage.
You know what this means to me? They can make 2 days longer. It's going to be pretty cool. Tied down
Some damage on that one.
Thursday night in the dual race. So look for that first to do something special. He was able to slice through. When he had that car full of fuel in, he was gone right to the front.
Nathan, we talked about having to be perfect all day long. We saw John Hunter Nemechek in the 42 lead the entire way in the opening stage. Look at this green car rather slide into his pit stall here on NASCAR TV. That's the kind of mistake you cannot afford to have on pit road, because it costs them, and it's going to cost them dearly.
Riley Herbst, too many crewmen over the wall too soon, and that is a penalty. He will have to drop to the rear of the field for this restart. About a half a lap away before we go back to green flag racing.
Lay down.
Oh, my nose clean.
Down. Here we go.
Stage 1 done. 60 laps to the end of the next stage.
Video this part?
Oh yeah, well.
All right, Daytona, you had a chance to relax. Come on, get up on your feet. We're getting ready to fire back up here. Stage number 2. You're going to see the green flag. New tires and they're ready to race for turn 1.
Now Denny Hamlin is up alongside Ryan Blaney for the second spot as that inside lane tries to advance, but there's only 7 cars to the bottom. Everybody else top side.
7 cars in the bottom of the racetrack include Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Bell, and Kyle Jason.
Busher rip rides into the outside lane. He's got drafting help from Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got employees in the rear view mirror.
Here comes Bubba Wallace, second car in line on the bottom, trying to propel that lane forward. Outside lane has to once it this time left to back straightaway.
on the top side. Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace on the inside.
He's an 8-time 500 champion. He's got his teammate Ryan Blaney hooked to the back bumper.
They have broken away by about a car length, but that advantage is not going to last for long. Here comes Denny Hamlin, surging up the inside lane. Drafting help from Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick.
Great run for Denny Hamlin off of turn number 2. Does he have enough to get up alongside and challenge for the race lead on Austin Cindric? Cindric, top side.
Denny Hamlin is there in turn number 3, pulling up right alongside the left rear quarter panel of Austin Cindric. It's Cindric and Hamlin dancing side by side.
Racing drivers. His racing teammate and Christopher Bell. They're 1, 2, 3, 4 down low.
Goodbye two back through about the top 20, 25 right now. Denny Hamlin in that low line gets another shove from Bubba Wallace. He'll take the lead, slide up in front of him.
Still stacked up 2 wide, 2 rows, several rows deep behind him for the second spot. Bubba Wallace now leads the inside lane.
Leader into turn number 3. Here comes Bubba Wallace trying to make a move and get to the front. It's Wallace pulling up right alongside of
Denny Hamlin flies by the start-finish line. Denny Hamlin leads the Daytona 500 on
He's got a lead of about a car length with the side-by-side battle for second is brewing. Bubba Wallace, he'll take the second spot away from Cindric. He wants the lead from the ball.
Toyotas make up the front row. Bubba Wallace to the inside. Denny Hamlin to the outside. Everybody stacked up behind him as they enter turn number 3.
Tyler Reddick deep behind the Bubba Wallace car. Christopher Bell was behind Tyler Reddick a moment ago. However, he held his truck up to the outside.
second. He is poised and in position, running in P2 right now.
Bubba Wallace has been so close in the last few years, and he's close again right now. Side by side with Austin Cindric. Bubba down low. Cindric up high.
And both always run well here on the super speedways at Daytona and Talladega. They're up front again. Here comes Bubba Wallace, giving a bit of a push. Tyler Reddick on the inside lane.
Is alongside of Denny Hamlin. However, Hamlin has been getting some nice drafting assistance behind him, courtesy of the Ford Mustang of Austin Cindric.
They have taken that car, put it back together. It was fast in practice. It is not a backup car, and they've got her smooth out again and trying to go for the lead on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Bubba Wallace, bottom side of the racetrack. Austin Cindric, top side. Number 1 and 2, racing onto the back straightaway. The good thing for Bubba Wallace, he has got a teammate directly behind him.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace leading the inside lane, that purple number 23. He's got his boss, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, who co-owns that 23 and 45 to the bottom with Michael Jordan. They run side by side for the race lead in turn 3.
2 Daytona 500 champions on the outside line. The number 11 of Denny Hamlin and the number 2 of Austin Cindric.
Continue to dice it up about 3, maybe 4 rows back. They are back to 3 wide racing, heading back into turn number 1. A couple of cars stuck there in the middle with nowhere to go.
That'll keep you on the edge of your seat. We saw what happened when they went 3 wide in stage 1 in the middle lane. His teammate right behind him, the orange number 19, started on the front row, Chase Briscoe. He continues to be strong. They're back inside the top 10.
Christopher Bell has led portions of the last 5 years. He's led 20 laps, 22 laps, and 32 laps. His best finish has been 3rd. The leadership batter is the Bolt Toyota, right in the middle there with the yellow nose and the green exterior on the backside. Spinning paint scheme,
Race here at the line. Bubba Wallace uses that draft. He leads that time at the start-finish line. Joe, the side draft here at Daytona and when we go to Talladega is very important as they work off the corners here. You will see the drivers get as close as they possibly can to the side of the car beside them.
Is a 51 of Cody Ware. This is a single-car team, one of the smallest teams in the NASCAR Cup Series garage, and he's looking for the lead on the Daytona 500 in turn 3.
Give up the Red Racing in there from number 4. They switch to Chevrolet. It's a single car for now. Leading the field off for turn number 4. The rush is on.
And well, he has led a lap now at the Daytona 500. He led at the line, still 3 wide in turn 1.
Get your cameras out. What a show they are putting on here in stage 2 of the Daytona 500. Cody Ware in the 51 leading the way down the back straightaway, defending series champion. Sits there in the white and blue number 5. And here comes another car charging up the bottom. Florida's own Ross Chastain to the bottom with help from Justin Allgaier.
He's got all one push light sponsor number 1 for Trackhouse Racing, Justin Allgaier in tow. That's another Chevrolet behind Allgaier, the only declared rookie this year. The Red Bull comes 5 once again in the last.
Inches, 2 1/1000ths of a second. It's still Cody Ware. Now Bubba Wallace, the extreme outside lane, makes it 3 wide yet again.
3 wide for the race lead. Ross Chastain scampers out ahead. Now it leaves him 3 wide for second. Justin Allgaier at the bottom of the 40. The middle lane is Cody Ware. Way up top, the extreme outside lane is 23. And Ross Chastain at the point trying to hold everybody at bay.
Trust indeed. 3 wide, not a lot of room for moving forward or back. Not a lot of room side by side. 3 wide middle is continually swapped over the radios here to these teams.
The car looking pretty sporty, racing 3 wide for second with Ross Chastain controlling all 3 lanes.
Darting inside, darting outside, whatever Ross Chastain has to do to maintain the lead here in Daytona. Feel the thunder of 3 wide NASCAR Cup Series racing here at the World Center of Racing. This is the Daytona 500. This is what dreams are made of. And Ross Chastain, with help from Bubba Wallace, lead the way down the back straightaway.
Little Gator saw the whole broadcast last week, the best side. In Daytona, you see on the screens out the back window, not for long. He's on the inside, going for the lead. The Trevor Whiskey Chevrolet, Little Gator, Junior Motorsports. Will they lead this lap?
Will it be enough to lead at the line? Yes, it will. Justin Allgaier to the top of the leaderboard as they go back into turns number 1 and 2. Allgaier wanted to go to the middle, but he'll duck back to the bottom.
25 years since we lost Dale Earnhardt, and Justin Allgaier in the 40 car, leading in a car owned by Dale Jr., the Earnhardts, and his sister Kelly in the Great American Race in that 40 to the bottom lane of the racetrack. Justin Allgaier leads the charge down the back straightaway.
Great effort there. He's got Connor Zilic in tow with help behind them with number 10. Chevrolet's now trying to break away from the field.
Just like that, Ross Chastain controlling all 3 lanes to now making side-by-side battle, 3 wide matter of fact for third as Connor Zilic jumps to second.
Wow.
Connor Zilic, he's the rookie in the field, his first Daytona 500, but he's driving.
They were
like a
3
veteran
wide,
on the
and they're
outside
just
lead.
doing it like it's
288
nothing.
Sits second, they're 3 wide behind.
Just shaking my head at the pure talent of Connor Zilic, able to do what not too many teenagers can do. He won a Rolex timepiece in the first ever run he had the Rolex 24 in class victory 2 years ago at age 17. Here at Daytona, just like he's done for 20 years. The kid's 19 years of age, his first 500, going for the lead at the inside at number 88.
Connor Zilic lost race, but Ty Dillon has other thoughts. A huge surge for Dillon. He will Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon. Zilic comes up the racetrack, and Ty Dillon makes contact. A big one here on the front straightaway at the start-finish line.
Hard to imagine that more cars were not collected in that when Zilic came across the start-finish line going backwards. It was a 34 car, Todd Gilliland, I think, that got a hold of the 88 for Connor Zilic, who sits paused in the infield grass, spinning out of the second position. The rookie is now paused here in the ball field in the Daytona 500.
But Ty Dillon, that inside move might have surprised the
Mud Crazy, you called that, didn't you?
Turn 4, it was a pinball match.
You called that one.
The paddle, which was the ball, as the cars get bouncing off each other here, bringing up our third caution of the Daytona 500.
There you see it up on NASCAR TV. Connor Zilic, he has come around.
It's so windy today, guys, and a lot of foot traffic. I'm sorry, I'm not stable. It's real tricky.
Here is a look at the replay. Walk us through what happened coming off turn 4.
Watch the red and black number 10 to the inside. That was the car that made the first move. He darted to the bottom. Then the 40 and the 88 were trying to battle for position, what they thought was going to be the lead. Zilic drifted up the racetrack. A little bit of contact behind him. And Ty Gibbs came across, and there was more contact. It's unbelievable that nobody else except one car, the 34, piling in at the very end. Before that, Zilic sliding across the entire
On the outside line is down to the left of Indianapolis. Lopez said he through there. That's probably where they came down and really got the field shoved to the interior of the racetrack across the grass, where that blue and white number 51.
I'm getting bit. I gotta sit down.
Trying to avoid what was a really big scramble. Now keep in mind, Zilic was running
I got
inside
bit.
of Justin Allgaier. They were two alone,
That's
but
what I
that
got
wind
bit.
and the effort of the air buffering certainly upset the number 88 car before Dylan got a chance to get out and away for the lead.
We just heard drivers trying to side draft here coming off the corners. And right there, as Jim mentioned, there may have been a bump, there may have been a gust of wind as Connor Zilic was trying to side draft Ross Chastain. And that is what sparked that the trial. Just
they can read that post,
as hard as you ride along there with Chase Briscoe. He got hit from Cody Ware and then Austin Dillon as they reached the ground. So we'll have to wait and see how much damage is on the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota.
Now, Connor Zilic is 88. He's got a flat left rear and right rear tire. Because of that, the chassis dragging on the ground. He cannot drive the car forward because there's just not enough contact pads. They're going to have to tow him. When they tow him, he's going to end up going back to the pit area to be able to get those tires put on for the 88 for Connor Zilic.
And the lead trip towing company before getting involved here has to get that car high enough but not too high to keep the front tires off the ground, but the rear diffuser intact, but it hangs out below.
At least that'll show the numbers of their drivers
that aerodynamics in place on these cup cars.
Rode along there with Bubba Wallace as he
they're
somehow
turtle
managed to get through that one. He got a little
And I learned they're
sideways.
not allowed to
No
pass each
contact,
other
though,
when
was
you
able
turtle
to get
race.
through clean and okay, but not the same for Connor Zilic, who has now been flipped up to the record. Looks like he might pull that car back behind the wall. Maybe travel is have to wait and see where they go. As Chase Briscoe's down pit road, and also Austin Dillon, who had a big shot into Chase Briscoe. The crew looking underneath the right front of that number 40 Chevrolet.
If you can't drive the car back to the pit area, you have to go back to the prime area. Once they put you on the record, that's what they do. Now, we can get that car repaired, and I think they'll be able to and come back out onto the race course, but unfortunately, that is the rule. If you can't drive it back to the pit stall, you get towed back to the NASCAR garage area.
That is how quickly things can change here at Daytona. There's a live look at the current jackpot, $219,260 for the 50-50. You can scan that QR code to play. But for Connor Zilic, he was leading his first lap ever in the Daytona 500, and just like that, he has turned sideways, making contact with other competitors.
An aggressive move will win you the Daytona 500. A slight mistake turns disastrous, and there was contact out in the racetrack. Next thing you know, Connor Zilic is lit from the front of the windshield at the Daytona 500. Now finds himself back inside the NASCAR Cup Series garage.
Chase Briscoe and his team, a lot of work to be done. This is on top of the roof of that Bass Pro Shops number 3 of Austin Dillon. His car was pushed backwards with extensive nose damage, so the Poet onboard camera is showing us this look as he goes back to his pit stall. More equipment to repair that damage than on pit road. He's into the stall gear in the garage area.
These cars are so low, you can see the tire tracks right across the logo here in the ball field. That was laid down by Austin Dillon, and there was a ton of damage. Grass being pushed up into the bumper. You got to clear that out from the radiator. Drives into the wrong pit stall, back in the garage area. They've got their hands full in the 3 car for Austin Dillon. And in fairness, it's not the wrong pit stall for Austin Dillon. They designate a specific area to work on cars during the race, not the same pit stall that you used all weekend. So Austin Dillon going to that designated area back in the NASCAR garage area to do work on that 3-car.
Chase Briscoe also gone back into the
Seconds of fuel for him. He has already gone after Sunoco fuel. Tyler Reddick, they're going to save longer, but in more Sunoco. Also, we've got Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chris
For Chase Elliott, left side tires for Justin Allgaier. Eric Jones also fuel only. Bubba Wallace was in as well, taking Sunoco fuels.
I got the tree for him. I got just the tree showing for him.
Danny Hamlin as well as Shane Van Gisbergen. Sorry, Hines going
Taking a break, you know?
Cody Ware is looking over the damage of his car. Honestly, for as dinged up as it looked out there, it doesn't look too bad. They're working up under the left front of the Cody Ware car.
Ross Chastain's crew got the job done. He'll get back out on the racetrack.
When we were getting your hot dog, Chase was in second.
Came off the pit lane.
When we were getting the hot dogs, Chase was in second place. He got shuffled out. He was trying to be on the outside, and no one went with him, and he fell back.
The 54 camp for Ty Gibbs.
Two cars, the Joe Gibbs camp having damage, guys. I'm just thinking that there's a lot of
one that doesn't like to just ride around. He wants to
that
go.
team is down in repair mode to get that right front headlight area of his Camry repaired.
They are opting not to go back to the garage, Joe, which means they can rejoin the racetrack. Cody Ware also getting some repairs made to his car as well. Corey Bryant, there was a small fire in his pit box, but they have got that extinguished.
Here's where it matters when you have a couple of teammates, Jim. Joe Gibbs racing out of the race. This is certainly every man for himself, but as you can tell by the pack, some cars work better together than others. And if you want somebody behind you to push you to victory in the Daytona 500, you want it to be a teammate. If some of these cars fall out early, like you see the 19 for Chase Briscoe, who sat in the front row back in the garage area, his teammate, the 54 on Ty Gibbs, who's on pit road a moment ago. If you have that race race at the end of the Daytona 500, your chances of winning have been that much more difficult.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now currently showing after his sponsor has joined him at Hayek Motorsports this season. Chef Boyardee, I'm sure we all know. All right, love some Chef Boyardee. That'll be on the car a lot this season for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There's a look up on NASCAR TV. Working intensely to try to repair that car, get him back out on the racetrack. By the way that it was kind of crab walking to the garage area, Joe, you can assume that it's either a bent or broken toe link.
Yeah, independent suspension there in the rear, and they've got to be able to get that repaired so that way all four tires roll in the same direction. You say, all right, it's midway through the Daytona 500. You've got all these cars going to the garage area. Why? What's the purpose of that? This is a season of 36 races. Every point matters. A new championship format this year, and if you want to be able to make the chase the final 10 races of the season to run for the NASCAR Cup Series championship, every position is a point. Every opportunity to pass another car secures a spot and improves your chance of making the championship in those final 10 races.
No more playoffs, no more win and you're in, and the chase, there's no more rounds in the chase. So literally this season, every race matters. You can go out and win one race, but if you crash the next 10, you're gonna really hurt your chances of making the chase. So you have to string together consistent finishes, and you have to try to get as many wins as possible. Good sign here for Connor Zilic and fans. He is back out on the racetrack.
Went to the garage on the hook, came back out quickly here. Cody Ware, who's the car that kind of careened into the number 19 of Chase Briscoe. That car's been on pit road for an extended period of time. The Ripper Racing team is on the left side of that bodywork as he literally came across the side of Briscoe to send him into the grass area. Ware was running fifth at the time, so they wanted to make sure that Chevrolet was just right.
With 40 laps to go here in stage number 2, everybody should be able to make it to stage 2 without having to come back down. Sure of that as he comes down, gets tires, and a Hayek Motorsports number 47. Field given the 1 to go signal as they come by the start-finish line. Again, that orange V on the front straightaway. They decide inside or outside of where they're going to restart as we head now with 39 laps to go in stage number 2.
Let's go down to Monica Palumbo before we go back to green flag racing.
Well, I'm moving around quite a bit. We're about to go green here in a second. I made my way to the grandstands, and I gotta say, you fans are the best fans in the world. Look at this out here, Daytona 500. Look at that. Happy 82nd birthday to his mom. That's amazing. Are we having a great time? Y'all, this is beautiful. The stands are packed. And Jordan says Daytona 500.
Well, thank you, Monica. And yes, having some fun in the stands here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Just about a half a lap away before we go back with 39 laps to go in stage 2.
Daniels Amigos represent here. If you see yourself on that screen, give us a wave.
Copyright.
Race fans, here we go. Flag goes back in the air. A couple of Chevrolets on the front row will lead this field back to turn 1. Ross Chastain being shoved by Denny Hamlin.
Larson, but there's really no need to do so. Courtesy of Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain's a good 5 car lengths ahead of the first car below the line. That's Larson.
Top 2 gets singled out. Kyle Larson, that third car.
I'm going to eat a sandwich here in a little bit.
Tries to propel that inside lane toward the front, has dropped in help from
But I'll get a couple of these laps.
Kyle Larson with a nice shove behind him, courtesy of Kyle Busch. Larson now even with Ross Chastain. Chastain to the outside, Larson to the outside.
Receiving a 5-year contract extension earlier this week. Young Money and the reigning NASCAR Cup Series champion leads the lane at lap 92.
The reigning Cup Series champion with help from a multi-time Cup Series champion of his own in Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace right behind the Busch machine, trying to push Kyle Larson forward.
They continue to dig on the bottom off of turn number 2, but the outside lane continues to prevail. Ross Chastain dropped in.
Yeah, I moved seats. It's sold out today. We had assigned seating.
Second right on the back bumper of Ross Chastain, giving Chastain all he can handle right now as the race leader. Hamlin is still
7 laps shy of the halfway point of the Great American Race. Ross Chastain in the Chevrolet leads. The Toyota of Denny Hamlin continues to be on the back bumper.
Chastain and Hamlin have not always been the best of on-track buddies, but they're working well together right now. Here comes Austin Cindric. He's going to bust out a line. Goes to the bottom on Denny Hamlin.
Has a great run off of turn number 2. Does Austin Cindric and will challenge Denny Hamlin for the second spot. Cindric in turn. He's got help from Chris Buescher.
Thank you, Baber.
Austin Cindric now pokes out to the lane. Chris Buescher trying to follow Cindric through on the bottom of the racetrack. Austin Cindric.
Can he keep it to the start-finish line? No, because Ross Chastain gets a draft from Denny Hamlin. But here comes Zane Smith. He'll come flying around the outside. He'll lead the 3 wide lane up top.
3 wide to the outside. Zane Smith around Denny Hamlin, around Austin Cindric, into a battle for the number 3 spot. Now he loses some momentum. Here comes Cindric down low for the lead.
3 wide from second on back as it is spectacular racing here up the back straightaway. All behind race leader Ross Chastain.
Chris Buescher in his orange and black Ford to the
continues to lead the third lane, highest on the racetrack, has drafting help from Brad Keselowski and Corey Heim, and that's where Ross Chastain goes.
Chastain goes up to the outside, that third lane, and indeed blocks Zane Smith. Now Chastain decides to move back out of the middle lane.
Meanwhile, Austin Cindric's hands are full for the lead.
He's got Chris Buescher right on his back bumper. Ryan Blaney just another car length back as they run the middle lane. Right behind them, Denny Hamlin in the middle of a 3-wide fifth.
The Fords beginning to find each other at the front of the field as they make their way up the back straightaway. 3 wide from fourth on back. It's Cindric, Buescher, and Blaney. Here comes the outside lane. Ross Chastain.
As Chastain shot out of the cannon for a nice push in his rear view mirror, courtesy of Zane Smith. Cindric goes up and blocks Chastain. Now he moves down to the middle and blocks Buescher.
To the inside, nothing available. Ross Chastain right on the back bumper of Austin Cindric. A Ford leads a Chevrolet. They again stack up 3 wide from about the 4th place on back.
Austin Cindric doing the best he can to run all 3 lanes with a single race car. For the moment at least, it's going to work. They are 3 wide behind him.
Shane Van Gisbergen leads the inside lane as drafting help from Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. In the middle, it's Chris Buescher with help from
Ross Chastain with a nice move to get around Austin Cindric in the middle, but here comes Shane Van Gisbergen.
They said in the offseason he needed to work on ovals. David looks like he's got the Daytona thing down pat, at least for now.
Now, if he's been working, it is working. Shane Van Gisbergen wheel to wheel with his teammate. Off turn number 2, Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain to the outside. Shane Van Gisbergen to the bottom and looking for the lead here in the Daytona 500. Looking at a big shot from Kyle Larson.
And Austin Cindric was there. Ross Chastain once again moved up to block Cindric. Now Chastain goes down to the middle, rides right in front of Chris Buescher.
Position up front, Ross Chastain in the middle lane continues to lead by half a car length. Shane Van Gisbergen racetrack will again believe it.
SVG keeps the lane plugged up on the bottom, not allowing Ross Chastain to throw the block on him. Van Gisbergen's got Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch.
Now Austin Cindric will lead the third lane, highest on the speedway off of turn number 2. They have momentum. Well, they did. Ross Chastain throws the block.
We still have more than half the race left to run, but these drivers are getting more and more aggressive. The blocking is starting to get even closer. Chastain the lead.
Halfway through the Daytona 500. Let's give you a full field rundown. Here's how they're running. Presented by Sunoco. From fueling your favorite NASCAR team, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
Ross Chastain shows the way at the halfway point of the Daytona 500. Chris Buescher scored 2nd. Shane Van Gisbergen goes 3rd and Austin Cindric 4th. Ryan Blaney 5th. Zane Smith is 6th. Kyle Larson goes 7th and Denny Hamlin 8th. 9th is Brad Keselowski. 10th is Kyle Busch.
Justin Allgaier rebounding from a lap 5 crash. He's 11th right now. Corey Hyman's 12th. Bubba Wallace is 13th. Riley Herbst is 14th. And Cole Custer is 15th. Ty Gibbs is 16th.
Guys, I'm gonna eat a sandwich real quick. I'm starving.
Daniel Suarez is 28th, Ty Dillon 29th, and Noah Gregson 30th.
As we're giving you that rundown, Shane Van Gisbergen has just gone to the lead. 31st, Ryan Preece. AJ Allmendinger's 32nd. Carson Hocevar's 33rd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 34th. Cody Ware's 35th. Jimmy Johnson is 36th, with Casey Harrison 37th. Connor Zilish is 38th. Chase Briscoe 39th. Austin Dillon's 40th. BJ McLeod is posted 40th.
Yeah.
Motor racing on clock. The 68th running of the Daytona 500. My name's Alex Hayden. Alongside is Mike Bagley and Todd Gordon. Dave Moody's out in turns 1 and 2. Kyle Rickey on the backstretch. Tim Carafano is over in turns 3 and 4. And Bill Hayes, Steve Post, Chris Miller, and Brian Gillian. Time of the Formula Race update that's presented by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of
among 19 drivers, 3 caution flags for 17 laps. The first came out at lap 5, when there was a multi-car crash out of turn number 4, which involved B.J. McLeod, Casey Mears, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gregson, and Tyler Reddick. Caution flag number 2 flew at lap 60 for a stage 1 conclusion, and the most recent caution at lap 85, when Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon, Connor Zillage, and Chase Briscoe spun due to turnover. Tom Gilliland got a piece of that as well. The race lead in the hands of Kyle Busch right now. Kyle Busch leading the pack back to turn number 1 on the inside lane. Ryan Blaney, that highlighter yellow, 4 behind him, and then don't look now. A couple or 3 Chevrolets topside. Kyle Larson, SVG, and Ross Chastain.
Unbelievable champion. He's going to get Trackhouse Racing, a 3-car operation here. This winter, they went through the shop. They put new people in place. They knew that they needed to step up their performance for the Ohio 2025. They're very happy with champion. He's going to be able to step up and very strong. Leading the 2500, Ross Chastain, and a real
stage number 2 as Kyle Busch continuing to get a shot in the pants from Ryan Blaney. Behind Ryan Blaney into the front and Joe Miller, a 3-time Daytona 500 champion, Denny Hamlin, and Justin Allgaier behind him.
Beat up Carroll.
They brought this car up for the first time last year to see what their team is building. This system was 60. He's certainly turning a lot of heads with what he can do in the Daytona 500.
Inside line, as that is the line that has the most momentum. Right now, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, a little 2-car breakaway as they roll off turn 2 and back down the Daytona Super Stretch.
Kyle Busch, who leads the Daytona 500 in the 8 machine, looks in the rearview mirror, and he's got a couple of Chevrolets pouring down on him in the outside. Shane Bean Gisbergen right behind.
Wade Sherman here. Behind Kyle Larson. Shane Bean Gisbergen, as Jim just mentioned, he is shoving that Chevrolet maker bench. Who is it going to be? Kyle Larson by a Fender leads at the start-finish line.
A fantastic race we have seen so far inside of
Kyle Busch has just taken the lead back of the Daytona 500, leading his 11th lap of the Great American Race. We've got 21 laps to go in stage 2. Let's take a trip to Pit Road, presented by Starlink. Get fast, affordable internet in your area, starting at $30. Streaming the race, gaming, and much more. For more information, visit starlink.com. Starlink to stay first.
Jim Thomas with a nice job there, turning this race car.
William Byron, and he was swept up in there. And it's been a lot of work by this crew on every pit stop so far today to get the car even better. They self-tried some the tires knocked out in that incident. Chassis adjustment to fight the tight race car that William Byron was dealing with. It's now pretty drivable, reported Byron earlier in the race or early in the stage. So they're pretty happy with what they have now. Still a lot of work to go, but trying to keep William in the mix and, of course, still keep that hunt for 300 in this one. Brad Gilly.
Chris, it's been like two different races between stage 1 and stage 2 on my end of pit road. Stage 1, save, save, save. Stage 2, race, race, race. After they topped off with Sunoco fuel, most of the cars on my end of pit road on lap number 87, every single one. Joey the guy on Greg Keselowski said, "You are clear to race."
Has just surpassed 1,000 laps ahead of the Daytona 500, becoming just the third team in history to do so behind Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports.
Leaders work through turns 1 and 2. It continues to be 2 by 2 for the lead. Kyle and Kyle.
Side by side through the field, off of turn number 2, pushed to the inside, Larson to the outside lane, about 15 cars in each lane. Ryan Blaney inside the
To Kyle's point, there has been no change among these drivers.
Tools and expertise to catch problems before they become breakdowns. That's Napa know-how. What do you know?
Well, what I know is we keep the pace up. We're running 46.50s right now, right here. These guys are not saving fuel at all. And this is when you see this place go from 3 lanes back to 2. Because the third lane the second lane will still air off and slow them down. When you're running less than right open, that third lane can develop and become something that guys are burning fuel to get to the position. When you run a place like this, 2 lanes is all we have. Push chassis
Dave, there's no saving going on. Everybody's got the right foot to the floorboard. And if you
A whole lot of giddy up going on right now. Everybody doing what they like to do best. Going to the wet and running wide open around this 2.5.
but nobody's stepping out of line with the exception of Brad Keselowski further back just
some great racing up front, side by side with the battle for the race lead as the laps dwindle down in stage 2.
Nobody giving an inch. It's all it takes right now. The intensity ratcheting up as we get toward those championship points will be paid off 15 laps from now. That's why they're all positioning themselves towards the front of the field, with only the top 10 payout points.
The spotters have their own team and channel 1, their own team channel 2, their own less than 15 laps to go in this thing.
That got really sketchy, Joey. Couldn't do so before Larson shoved it in there.
2 Kyles at the front of the field, 2-time Cup Series champions, 2 in the bottom lane for Kyle Busch, the defending Series champion, the outside lane for Kyle Larson. Neither of them have won the Daytona 500. They lead off turn 2.
Went twice between the triangle and turn 1. Ryan Blaney is giving a come on, man. Look both in the mirror because did a hit him, bumped him twice, trying to make a move there. There it goes.
Made the decision to come back to the bottom and allow Kyle Larson to stay in the middle of the
as Kyle Larson been strong in this year's Daytona 500. This is a race that he has struggled to finish with. He's been near the front towards the end, but hasn't been able to seal the deal. He's been able to rally through with that car anywhere he wants on the racetrack. He's proving it straight now. Continues to battle for the race lead. He'll drive to the outside of Kyle Busch, then even across, midway down the back straightaway.
Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen once again. Said I need to improve on ovals. I've not been doing as well as I have at the road courses. It's a building here on tour. He's doing a great job.
Things got a little dicey. He had a back out of the throttle, and now Kyle Busch jumps topside with Ryan Blaney as they go back to turn one.
The energy inside that pack is building. You can feel it. The drivers positioning themselves. You feel those bumps. You can see them on NASCAR TV where they bob and weave and get out of line. That's from a bump draft down the back straightaway. Keep an eye on them here as they come down the back stretch. Which cars are dancing down the back straightaway?
I don't know if Ryan Blaney has led a lap today, but I believe he's in the top 5 category of car drivers that have led laps at the Daytona 500. But not really figuring out the racing right second now. That Menards,
They are side by side from third on back with Blaney and Busch leading the outside lane.
Denny Hamlin's got a veteran behind him and Justin Allgaier to try to push him forward, and it works. He'll draw alongside Ryan Blaney. That will bring the 8 car of Kyle Busch to the inside to throw the block. Busch now scampers back up to the high line of the racetrack as here comes Ryan Blaney pouring on the steam.
Down the back straightaway they go. Ryan Blaney gives Kyle Busch a big shove. Busch has been doing a really good job at going from the bottom to the top, controlling both lanes. We saw this earlier in the race from the Wilson.
Series race here yesterday with Austin Hill, but here comes Denny Hamlin. You've got lap traffic up ahead. Connor Zilic and Casey Vera Zilic 4 laps off the pace of the 88. The race leaders will rumble to the outside lane as Denny Hamlin challenges Kyle Busch for the race lead.
There's a little bit.
drag race down the back straightaway. Inside is the
Didn't see it up there.
Denny Hamlin looking for a championship run. It all begins with what could be his 4th Daytona 500 victory here to start 2026. He's every bit NASCAR Hall of Famer when he decides to retire, but my goodness, he is put into the wood right here on the inside. Enjoying the race number 11. A couple of teammates have been wounded. May not be able to help him later stages, but he is showing power.
Good to point out that teammates have not been able to work together as we have seen in past Daytona 500s. You've got different manufacturers up front. All 3 make Chevrolet, Toyota, and Ford among the top 3. But when you look through the row, the inside lane is a Toyota, a Chevrolet, a Toyota, a Ford, and a Toyota. Outside lane, the same problem. Chevrolet, Ford, Chevrolet. No teammates working together so far in the Daytona 500.
Onboard now, Denny Hamlin driving on the inside lane. Looks kind of crazy where we are, but he looks like he just got the wheel right where he wants it.
Dude, Kyle's driving crazy as fuck, dude.
He couldn't decide what lane to go to. That allows for Denny Hamlin to slide up the racetrack and grab the lead. They're side by side for second. They're 3 wide for second off turn 2.
And it was Bubba Wallace who almost got shuffled out of line, but is able to squeeze his way back in to be 2 by 2 as they roll down the back straightaway. Battle is on for the race lead. Justin Allgaier driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr., looking for the race lead of the Daytona 500.
To the bottom he goes. The generations roared when he caught the lead the last time he led a lap here. It was a short effort. And look at this run he's got up to the bottom of turn number 4.
That's the big one.
multiple cars spinning and crashing through the smoke. I count 5 cars over turn 1 that aren't caught up in this mess.
Several cars involved in a plume of smoke off the end of the front straightaway. It all started in the trioval with contact between Justin Allgaier and Denny Hamlin. Allgaier into the outside wall. Several cars involved here off the end of the front straightaway. And the dynamic of the Daytona 500 has just changed completely. 7 laps to go to the end of stage number 2.
Kind of 15 cars stopped on the apron turn after the pit road exit. The entrance and exit of our road course here. 15 cars were all wadded up in that as others scattered around. Amazing turn of events. Let's look at the replay on our NASCAR TV cameras.
Watch that machine at the bottom of the racetrack. The bright orange number 40 car of Justin Allgaier. It's easy to spot. He had a huge push, got him out front, jumped to the outside lane for Denny Hamlin, fastly approached, and left Allgaier went ever so slightly about a height off the outside wall. Hamlin stuck it into the position, and Allgaier come back up the racetrack, and there was some heavy contact there that sparked it.
Behind it, Justin comes up with the drive.
I don't, yeah.
View camera. There's a camera that's in the rearview mirror position. So literally a camera facing backwards. So Justin Allgaier, we mentioned
that was the only name I didn't hear in it, but
the Great American Race may have been the difference in clear or not clear on Hamlin.
And look at that replay right there, Joe. You talked about the smoke and how the drivers can't see. You're riding along with Joey Logano, and just like that.
I think here's your Blaney right here. I think.
Any driver who made it through could even see what they were doing.
These cameras are on the roof. You go down 2 or 3 feet, it's even more difficult to see how good they broadcast in. I was able to try to sneak through the field to see how bad the damages are. This is already leaving his pit stall here on pit lane officers.
Denny Hamlin's number 11 Toyota.
Yeah.
Shot right there for Justin Allgaier. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to repair that one as easily as the caution on lap 6 and on pit road right here in front of us, Joe. That is a lot of damage to the defending champ.
It's Kyle Larson with the 5 car and that right front tire. That
Right now, there's Blaney there.
That tire is beating up against the hood, the fender, nothing left, and that is going to impact his ability to run at speed. On board, we continue to watch the action here on NASCAR TV. The intensity of the pack, the energy was building. You could feel that something was going to break out. And just a slight mistake in the middle of the field was all it took to break 15 cars in all here at the end of stage number 2.
If I'm looking correctly at the safety vehicles are out.
I'm sorry.
Came to a halt with all those cars scattering and spinning. I don't see a single car stopped on the racetrack. They're all able to continue. I think everybody was able to roll from the incident.
Man,
Cars damaged in that one, and Joey's cars come out us here on the front straightaway. A lot of cars with springs on the right side, dents in the hood, the Goodyear lettering rubbed on. So this is a big one because there's a lot of drivers that are impacted by this crash in the trial.
Over the years of the Daytona 500, the safe spot has changed. It used to be when you get up front and you come out in the rest of the field, it seems like the rest of the front. We saw several cars take back towards the back of the pack, and had 6 cars. There's almost 2 laps of race cars getting towards the end. With these cars ready to get on through their strategy to run more aggressive and not power. 75 laps to the Daytona 500. There's what's left of the 5 car. Sports Machine, defending series champion Kyle Larson is back on pit road.
Now I will say, if that car steering is okay, and to a point where Kyle Larson can still handle it, the left side of that car doesn't look all that bad. If they can get that right front fender patched up, I think he could still be able to compete in the draft. It will hurt if he gets pushed to a point where he's the lead car in a line, but in the draft, tucked up behind somebody, I think Kyle Larson might still be okay.
Shane Van Gisbergen's 97 rolling again, left rear tire damage for him. There's the work on the 5 for Kyle Larson. The rest of the field has their pit crews ready with an opportunity to come on and get those tires, 125 with 130 of stage number 2. While all this has happened, the race leader is Bubba Wallace, and guys, something that we have been documenting was a driver that was involved in an early incident. This caution will work to his benefit.
Jimmy Johnson's going to get the free pass. Drivers that were racing to lead 4 minutes ago are now being towed back to the pits, namely Justin Allgaier. Shane Van Gisbergen's car has a lot of damage as well.
And Alex Bowman up on NASCAR TV, a long, grueling wait in the car to get back to the garage area. There's a look inside Justin Allgaier, who's already back in that designated work area. And you know, knowing Justin and just the caliber of driver he is.
You guys still hear everything good?
He is definitely going to be upset with himself on that one. Responsibility for it. If the movie's going to want back, he's going to feel bad about that one coming
No,
in.
I'm just
You
talking.
can see the emotion of Justin Allgaier. He is one of the most personable people in the NASCAR garage area. One of the nicest guys. He's a family guy, but he's a fierce competitor. He's a champion.
Sorry, I'm gonna get me something to drink here, and I'm eating and whatnot. So I've been putting it in the cup holder.
Fractions of seconds, moments to try to block and maintain control of the race, and that's what this was about.
Allgaier was clearly in the upper lane. Then he moved down a couple of feet and came back up in the path of Denny Hamlin. I think Ryan Blaney was not hesitant. I think that's what the punch was. Denny might have burnt the gas seeing Allgaier move up the racetrack and expected it.
And also, I'm not 100% sure if Denny Hamlin even wanted to put his car or the nose of his machine in that position. He was getting a huge shove from Ryan Blaney, and it was kind of two things that happened at once. Just Allgaier migrated down the racetrack about a half the lane, and when he did that, Ryan Blaney gave a huge shove to Denny Hamlin that kind of wedged Hamlin's nose in between.
Whatever you grab me, I don't care.
And the outside safety.
Sometimes at points 2 and 3, the highlight of the ones that are really driving that pitch, but you see that Justin Allgaier coming across the nose, flipping Denny Hamlin, and just a disaster for that team. Well, every slight movement stage 2. So you look at some of the drivers that benefit though. Bubba Wallace has had a very strong race car. He's finished second in the Daytona 500 2 times. He came in more relaxed than ever, and he drives that 23 car. Right now, he's got the best seat in the house, leading the Daytona 500.
And he has 3 teammates in this race for 2311. One is the first timer, and then Robin Hood, number 67. That is Corey Hine, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion. Signed up for 12 races with this team. This is the debut for that paint scheme. Debut with Corey officially part of the NASCAR Cup Series. He qualified his way on Wednesday evening. Qualifying for the Daytona 500 presented by Busch Lights. He had the fastest speed of all the cars. There were open cars heading into qualifying. Showed that speed once again in the qualifying race. The dual modulators. I don't think he had no trust from those guys, other guys around him saying, I don't know if that guy's got enough muster and experience. He's proving today he's worthy of a top 5 role. Let's go to Monica.
Well, I'm hanging out here in the Grantas. I'm not just hanging out with anybody. I'm hanging out with the Air Force and Thunderbirds race fans. What did you guys think about that flyover today, right before the Daytona 500? Make some noise, they can hear you. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm just so curious because you guys have a bird's eye view, the best view in the house, flying over dirt free race. What's that experience like for you guys?
It was an absolute honor to be able to give you guys as much loud, as much noise as possible for the Great American Race and opening us. Like, this is the perfect public experience for the Thunderbirds in 2026. We can't think of a better way to start it off than here at America's Great Race.
Thank you guys. Race fans again. Make some noise for the Thunderbirds.
Unbelievable pre-race show again by the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds. Unbelievable.
assault. Luckily, he was hanging back, or else he could have been in there. He would have.
Well, I'm telling you, this
Smart.
is the place to be. We
Smart.
have
He's
Miss
doing it.
America up here.
Different tactic this time.
He's
He's not right up front. He's right back. He doesn't want to be in that middle. He kind of knew. He saw how they were racing. He's like, I'm going to back off. Smart, dude.
Baby, how's it going?
I love it. It's going great. Got a great race going on. A lot of action.
Lots of action. I know you guys like action. I heard you're adrenaline.
I'm like a little kid in a candy store right now. You can ask him the whole way up. I was at the house at 4 o'clock this morning. I was on the trail to get here. Right at 9, so it's
we love it. We've been coming here for many years, and it's one of the greatest things in the world. We don't live down the street, but it's the greatest race in the world. We got lots of friends and family, and just enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. We're going to go green here in a little bit. Y'all have a good time. Thank you. Vanilla Ice, everybody.
Maybe it's Vanilla Ice.
Who is that?
You never know. We're going to run into here at the Great American Race. And Monica found a pretty special guest member. How cool is it going back to her third interview? Those Thunderbirds.
She's a working dog. Don't talk to her.
Amazing air show
Don't talk to her. She's
right
a
after
working
the
dog.
national anthem earlier today. It's a tradition like no other here at Daytona. And it's so cool that we got to chat it up with them during this conference.
And that is entertainment that you don't get when you don't come to the races. And certainly we invite you to come on back here. We'll be back in August for more racing. The Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 29th. Playoff spots will be up for grabs to be able to make the chase, the series ending championship battle here for the NASCAR Cup Series. We hope that you've made your plans to join us on August 29th. It's going to be fun. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here at the Daytona 500, more to come. The NASCAR Cup
We're
Series
ending the stage, so we're just going to end the stage. I'm going to go use the restroom real quick.
Sugar 400 has traditionally been a very important race. Well, we're going to determine after that checker flag falls that Saturday night the top 16 drivers that will race for the chase to the championship. Same can be said for the night prior, the Friday night. So get a weekend ticket package going. We can cake area. That'll be the final race for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series teams to make the top 12 to move on to the chase. So there's a lot on the line back here at the World Center of Racing at the end of August.
Due to the extensive cleanup from the big one that just took place for the track, we have begun the final lap of stage 2 under caution, and bearing any issues with this Toyota, Bubba Wallace will be en route to his first stage win of 2026 as they make their way down the back straightaway. You're looking up on NASCAR TV at Austin Center. They're opening up the finishing repairs to that number 2 machine. They have the hood up, they're latching it back down. They'll send him back out on to the racetrack.
So we'll come around this time, they'll get a green and white checkered flag that'll indicate the end of stage number 2, and then shortly thereafter, pit road will be open. What I am curious about at this point in time is we saw that second pack of cars that was hanging toward the back and avoided this incident. Among them was Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, fastest car in final practice here yesterday, and then Carson Hocevar. Those guys at the back of the pack have not shown their cars yet, but we're getting towards the end of the Daytona 500, inside of 70 laps to go when they cross the line. When is the time that they turn up the wick and get out?
I think we've already seen the wick get turned up for these drivers. They know what's on the line. And now with 70 laps to go, they can almost taste it. We're getting closer to the finish as the field works on for number 4. As Jill mentioned a moment ago, the green and white checkered flag will be displayed here at the start finish line. Bringing an end to stage number 2. Bubba Wallace will win the stage. Ryan Blaney will go second. Kyle Busch will roll across the line in third. John Hunter Nemechek win fourth. And you have Riley Herbst, Corey Heim, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, and Daniel Suarez. Your top 10 in stage 2. There are no more playoff points to the stage winner, but there are 10 stage points handed out to the winner as Bubba Wallace wins his first stage of the season.
Huh. That's who got it, Bubba Wallace.
Go get a hat.
The thing? We just gotta ask Rob, because we I think we got to leave and then come back in, right? Or is it inside of the stadium?
I think it is outside. Will they let us back in?
I think we need our tickets. We have to scan our tickets out and then scan our tickets back in. I think.
That's what it looked like for Bubba Wallace. Success for him and win stage number 2. Let's go to Daryl Mott.
Well, as the laps wind down, it's all about this. The Harley J. Earl Daytona 500 trophy. Just a little reminder for those who are up there right now, you still have time to place that bet. Go to the Hard Rock Bet app, and you can place that bet. Now remember, on the last lap, right there, if somebody makes a pass, you go on your app and get your $100. Go ahead and place those bets. There's still time. Again, get that Hard Rock Bet app. Get your bet in. You got a chance to walk away with a $100 bonus bet.
Bubba Wallace, the stage winner, going to pull the attention of his crew, slides through his box, flat spots the tires there, but it'll be a tire change, 4 tires for Bubba Wallace, fuel going in the left side, and it's already almost complete for Bubba Wallace, and he was really tight. Jonathan Hassler for Ryan Blaney said the nose looks okay, slight cosmetic damage, they're going to stay on the race car, tires, and Chris Buescher will toss it out and away with 4 tires and fuel. Steve Post.
Take a fuel pouring out. Look how sandy.
Kyle Busch, they went around to the right side. They worked on the right side of that race car as he got up against the left side of it. Right in the pit box behind him, John Hunter. He's got a pretty good opening right in the middle of the nose of that car. And that's that high-speed duct tape and barbar tape that they're putting on the Legacy Motor Club Toyota. Also in Ryan Priest, very good pit stop, Ryan Priest, and others.
I'm back, guys. I'm back.
For pit service here at this stage.
Freeway Insurance Chevrolet.
Sorry, been kind of
conclude here at the end of stage number 2. Well, we've seen
goofing off this race a little bit
on NASCAR TV today. Monica, I heard you're with a very special man.
been enjoying myself.
World
Gotta excuse me. You
Well, you
understand?
got that right. Guillermo Santa Cruz, Miami Speedway track president, as we're moving the championship races down to Miami.
I haven't been the best cameraman today. I'm sorry about that.
This is exciting news.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine, man.
Today at the World Center Racing, and they think that in 264 days, we're going to be racing championship series weekend in Miami.
He's counting down the days that will they know.
Oh, they're on a date? No way. No way.
We're bringing the Miami Heat to the track, which is really impressive for the race.
Tara. What did you do? Tara. Been some good racing today. They did 3 wide for, I couldn't tell you how many laps. Awesome. I just got lost in the moment, was sitting there like a dog watching them. We're going for Chase Elliott today. That's who we want.
Don't miss your chance to witness South Florida's moment of NASCAR history when NASCAR takes to the big stage. Get your tickets now at Homestead Speedway.
SVG, what's going on?
Starts in Florida, ends in Florida here in 2026. He's Nathan Prouty of Joe Cross with Jim Trado. Jim, today you call your 23rd Daytona 500 here at the World Center of Racing. You have seen a lot in the Great American Race. What have you seen so far, and what do you think we're going to see in the final sprint to the finish?
It's all about positioning this next gen car, the next gen 7 car, is a car that has more equality across the table on manufacturers, across the teams. I talked to Chase Elliott this morning. We were in a conference at Harley J's with our special guest, and we talked about, it used to be you knew what cars were fast. By the time it came to the dual races, you knew the 5 or 6 cars you wanted to be around because they had so much speed. He said nowadays with these cars, they're all really good. It's hard to separate yourself. It's hard to be in that position. So I've seen in the past, I've seen mistakes being made. I've seen 2 more seconds of them losing the track, losing any chance with a dominant race car. The last 2 years, William Byron's been huge crash in turn 3. That was Brad Keselowski's best chance to win. Joey Logano might have had the chance to win. But Chase Elliott said, had it been another second before the yellow came out, he would have been a Daytona 500 champion. All those things stir and reoccur, and you only get one chance a year to be a Daytona 500 winner. And I think it comes down to positioning in the final moments of this race. We talked about teams not being able to work together just yet. I think that's going to change it.
The Daytona 500 here at the World Center of Racing and Jim. There was a couple of thoughts that we heard earlier in the week. Austin Cindric on the Hard Rock Bet Fan Zone stage said, you know what, you're advertising that you've got a car that's going to work well in the draft. And that's something that all these teams have done for the first 133 laps of this race. They know that if they can prove that they're a good car to be able to draft with, comfortable in the draft, it's about position. 67 laps to go. Now is the time when you got to work your way to the front to put yourself and give yourself a chance to be there when the checkered flag goes out.
Our pole sitter Kyle Busch with Richard Jones Racing on pit road. Damage repair continues for him. How about taking home this kind of jackpot? $252,185, the current total at our 50-50 raffle. Hit that QR code, participate, buy a 50-50 ticket from our partners here on the racetrack, and the 50-50 money goes after you have to bet ticks to get better into some really cool sporting events, including races here at Daytona.
A big purse here for Daytona, but how about a $31 million purse for the drivers and competitors in the field today? A huge dollar amount to be up for grabs. And Nathan, we just got through this particular race with a big wreck here on the front straightaway. 15 cars. I don't see that was a pit stop, but there's a lot of work being done on pit lane.
When they come back around, there will be 65 laps to go in the Great American Race.
65 to go, bring the flag, last stage. What?
Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens to last. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must act just to keep them alive.
in just a bit, led by Bubba Wallace. Corey Heim continues to be the first car on the bottom with dropping out from Riley.
Wallace the leader by a heavy car length over Corey Heim. Corey Heim's Toyota Camry now pulls even with Bubba Wallace. Those two 23.
The Daytona 500 might enable him to schedule a couple of more starts as well, but he's got a handful of his teammate right now, Bubba Wallace.
2311 Toyotas at the front of the field. Heim to the inside of Bubba Wallace. Second time up the back straightaway with the entire field lined up behind him. Riley second.
2311 across point of cars amongst the top four. Three of those four are 2311.
Lined up there. Haven't heard a lot out of Ryan Priest, but he's starting to make his way to the front here with 63 to go.
Christopher Bell takes it 3 wide to the outside. It's a 3 wide battle for third position. Right behind him comes Ryan Priest.
That lane beginning to build some momentum off of turn number 2. Outside of the top 5, a moment to go. They may challenge for the lead.
The screens went out, Rob. The screen went out.
And Chase Elliott for the 5th position. Up front, though, it's still double wide for the race leader.
That third lane, it was in the 4th lane. Inching forward, Christopher Bell back to stack it 3 wide for the lead of the 500.
Little by little, Christopher Bell has climbed the ladder. He's up into a 3 wide battle for second place. Time on the bottom, Busher in the middle. Bell up top, chasing Bubba Wallace.
Custer, Ryan Priest, Ross Chastain, all in that 3rd lane, highest on the speedway. Here comes Christopher Bell, who leads that lane. Challenge, Bubba Wallace, lead, right on the bottom.
3 wide for the race lead here at the Daytona 500. Corey Heim leading the 1st lane on the bottom. Bubba Wallace in the middle. Christopher Bell up top, still 3
just a moment.
Before somebody slams the door on him, and he will do exactly that. They're back to 3 wide, 5 rows deep. The battle for the lead.
Things had settled down to 2 wide racing for a few laps following the restart, but here we go again. 3 wide at the front of the field. Corey Heim on the inside. Bubba Wallace in the middle.
And for the drivers that are behind those 3 of Heim, Wallace, and Bell, there is literally nowhere to go. All 3 usable lanes here in Daytona remain locked up. 3 wide
Clusters in the mix along with Chris Busher. Ryan Priest, Josh Berry is back at it. Josh Berry is 3rd in line in the middle lane. Everybody comes out.
It's like rush hour on the Jersey Turnpike. Door to door, nose to tail, nobody with any daylight.
Cole Custer in the outside lane in that 2nd row as they are 3 wide behind the leaders. In the middle, Chris Busher on the bottom is Riley Herbst. He gets a shot from Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott's got nowhere to go, as I mentioned a while ago. He is a car length behind Riley Herbst, 2nd in line behind the driver on the bottom lane.
Inside lane continues to show the way. David only by a fender.
Spectacular competition here at the World Series. All the way around, lap after lap after lap. This time for
top 21 cars racing 3 wide off of turn number 2. Heim, Wallace, Bell, inside, middle, and outside. That's the front row as they race.
That is the 2nd row. The 3rd row of this 3 wide sandwich are Chase Elliott, Josh Berry, and Ryan Priest. race as they all continue to
charging up the middle. He'll lead that lap, but again, the momentum will now shift to the bottom lane of the racetrack in the corner.
Nobody willing to quit as round and round they go. 3 deep. Outside Christopher Bell, nobody in the division.
Corey Hine continues to lead. This is about the 4th time by the entire lead pack. 3 abreast formation. Nobody getting in the
Christopher Bell by maybe a bumper into turn number 3. Wallace shoots out to the lead. As soon as I say that, though, here comes Corey Hine. All 3 of these lanes are getting even.
57 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Now just 2 cars side by side at the front of the field to leave everybody else racing for scraps.
See how long it lasts. They're down to 2 abreast, but Christopher Bell, who's fallen back just a car length in that 3 wide lane.
Chris Busher and Riley first to his inside. That is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 3 wide for that position. The top 2 able to break it. There's Bell getting that good way
Christopher Bell continuing to remain committed to the outside lane. Bell has got Cole Custer, Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, and Cody Ware. First off,
continues to lead. He's just led his 17th lap. Great competition all through the field. The trio of Toyotas, 1, 2, 3, and they go middle, bottom, and top. 3 wide off the racetrack.
This close side by side, 3 wide for so long is mentally tasking, but you've got to be able to make it to the end of the Daytona 500. Just 55 laps next time by. The intensity is there. They race back into turn 3.
There's cars completely surrounding everybody but the lead 3, and we continue to run this way. It takes a lot to...
Corey Hine, the driver who is not full-time in 2026, the defending NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion from a year ago. He is mixing it up at the front of the field now with the advantage coming off turn 2.
We're talking about Corey Hine, who's that neon 67 on the inside lane of the racetrack. He leads down the back straightaway here in Daytona. He was a 12-time winner in the Craftsman Truck Series last year. Became the champion, but as Nathan said, did not have a full-time opportunity. He's running part-time in the Cup Series, and he's making the most of it here today.
That means a team combination that's working. They're out and leading and controlling this race, but if they get single file at some point...
Finish line as he is being pushed by Chris Busher right behind him. Joe, a car that you have your eye on, who we have been seeing kind of lay back throughout the day, just avoiding the big ones in front, is Ryan Preece. Can today be the day he gets his first career
just for the audio.
points victories?
The outside lane, road 3, the purple number 61.
I feel like I'm there.
Ran well in the qualifying event here Thursday night. Won a majority of the first race before hitting it finally get into it and get going.
Sitting there listening on an earpiece.
In practice here yesterday, the 60 race.
Xfinity Toyota. His teammate Corey Hine is to his inside. That's what we're about to see. Up third, 23-11 team. The 35 of Riley Hurts. 3 teammates teaming up here at the front.
I think you're going to catch him in let me see him get around the lap car.
Today's broadcast is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Better move, lap car.
Justin Allgaier is out of the infield care center, and Justin
slow down.
Well, looking back on it, just mistake on my part. You know, it stinks. I hate for everybody that got torn up in that wreck. We had a super fast number 40 Traveler, Whiskey Chevrolet today, and I hated that I'm standing here talking to you. As well. You having Chris Stapleton here and knowing that you've got an opportunity to not only run up front but lead the pack and have a car that was capable of driving our way up there, it was really cool. So I thought that the hole was blocked off enough that the outside line wouldn't jump out. It was just enough to be inviting, and once City got close enough, I really couldn't get turned down out of it. I saw the run coming, thought I was going to get a push from it, and just unfortunate that caught the way that we did. And the air is so crazy and how much it can affect the cars. And just trying to turn down, and there was nothing doing.
Justin Allgaier out of the Daytona 500. Justin Allgaier, one of many drivers that will not make it to the end of the Great American Race. He'll join Todd Gilliland, Alex Bowman, and B.J. McLeod of those that will watch and listen to the rest of this race from the sideline.
Here in 2026, one of the big changes is the way we determine our champion. We got the chase format. What's old is new again. And points are precious no matter how you get them.
Yeah, and it's, I think what's old is new again with a new twist on it, because when we get to the end of regular season, there is still a benefit to finishing better in regular season points. It's not just the top 16 resetting. We still have layers of, there's 100 points between those 16 positions. 150 of the Daytona 500. David continues to be the Toyota teammates of Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Corey Heim, all the Pied Pipers of this field.
Mike, I never thought 3 wide at 185 miles an hour would start to seem ordinary, but they've done it so many times in a row now, it's starting to seem that way.
Rows deep through the field. Corey Heim, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell continuing to push the field inside the
Is the top 3 cars in the first row of 3 wide action. The second row has got Riley Herbst, Chris Buescher, and Cole Custer. Row 3, Reese,
Toyota Camry XSEs at the front of the field. Corey Heim, the reigning NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, showing he can get the job done.
Round and round and round they go. Heim on the bottom, Bubba Wallace in the middle, Christopher Bell on the high side. Else drumming their fingers on the steering wheel saying, somebody let's go.
Including Riley Herbst, second car. Chris Buescher, second car in the middle. Then Cole Custer, second car topside. They are lined up right behind the trio up front.
and all it's going to take is one of those drivers that Dave referenced to get a little bit more antsy and start pushing one of these drivers in front of them. That will shake up this pack for the moment, though. Everybody contending for the top 8 there.
Everybody 3 wide, now 10 rows deep. The question is, Todd, when are they going to come for fuel? Because obviously we've seen this before today, where they've got to get angled up, get to the bottom of the racetrack to get on pit road. So when does the window open, and what's the drop dead lap that you've got to come for fuel?
So as I look at it right now, if you came for fuel right now, you could see fuel will make it to the end. If you get another, say, 6 to 7 laps in, and with the way that cars are right now, they probably have close to 30 laps of fuel left in the tank at this pace. So it becomes a wide open strategy call, one that crew chiefs can play down there. We saw the Toyotas in Talladega a couple years ago. They didn't like this. They just decided to peel off in about 6 laps.
Before the last pending pit stop. Problem is the right now with the 3 Toyotas, it's clogged up. There's nowhere you can go.
It is. So the play would be when the window comes open for you to go wide open to the end of the race, to then strategize yourself to come to pit road, top off with fuel, put tires on it, and go hard for it. I feel like that number's probably 7 cars you got to have come. to do that, to be exactly. 3/4 of the field landlocked right now in 3 wide racing. Corey Hine, Bubba Wallace, and Christopher Bell leading each of those lanes with now 46 laps to go.
Control the race. You've got the Toyotas 1, 2, 3 across the front row, controlling the pace. And then 46 laps to go.
Leading the Ford Charger on the outside, or in the middle of row 2, I should say, is the number 17 of Chris Buescher. Behind him, the 50th anniversary paint scheme of the Wood Brothers, number 21, with Josh Berry behind the wheel. Chevrolets on the outside of row 2, that's the number 41. Haas Factory team has switched to Chevrolet. Rally Series champion.
Getting close to the pit window being open, but Joe, the trick with the pit window opening here in about 6 laps, the problem being, if we were to get an overtime or 2, drivers that pit early might not have enough
So you've got a couple of laps to play with to be able to get you to the finish of the Daytona 500. They can still probably go another at least 20, 25 laps before they need to pit. That drops out of hand early to take advantage of an early pit stop and change the way the dynamic of this race is playing out.
It's not a matter of coming in when the gas gauge reads E. It's a matter of coming in when you know you can fill the gas up and go the rest of the distance. You kind of work at backwards math. How many laps to the end, plus maybe a couple for overtime. Once you hit that lap,
what they've worked on all year long is this moment. This is the strategy part of the game. The idea is to make sure that you are the leader coming off of pit road on the last sequence of pit stops, and that's why they're running the way they are right now. 3 by 3. They've got a great shot to win the Daytona 500.
right now. Bubba Wallace, Corey Hine, 2 23-11 Toyotas leading the field. They are side by side for the race lead. Behind them is where the 3 wide battles start. All the way back to the cars at the tail of the field, just lugging some laps in the highland.
you see the importance of the effect of the track. Christopher Bell is dead even on the front row, if you will, going down the backstretch lap upon lap. But for the that gap surmounted and actually calculated to where Bell is now back trying to find a partner. Not the gap between himself and the car behind him, but they're losing ground on the outside lane. They race
43 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Let's give you a full field rundown. Let you know where your favorite drivers running. Presented by Sunoco. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
33 down. Corey Hines being scored second. Bubba Wallace third. Cole Custer fourth, and Riley Herbst goes fifth. Chris Buescher is sixth, and Ryan Preece seventh. Josh Berry eighth. Chase Elliott ninth, and Ross Chastain is 10th.
Denny Hamlin is 12th. Brad Keselowski is 13th. Cody Ware is 14th, and Jimmy Johnson is 15th. 16th is Tyler Reddick. Zane Smith is 17th. AJ Allmendinger is 18th, with Daniel Suarez 19th, and Kyle Busch.
Is 30th.
31st is Michael McDowell. Shane Van Gisbergen is 32nd, with Casey Mears 33rd, Austin Cindric 34th, and Connor Zellers 35th. Chase Briscoe Justin Allgaier is out in 37th. So is Todd Gilliland in 38th, Alex Bowman in 39th, Austin Dillon 40th, and BJ McLeod in 41st.
With 142 to go in the Daytona 500. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
This is a really good race.
Motor Racing Network live at the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 500. I'm Alex Hayden, alongside is Mike Bagley and Todd Gordon. Out in turns 1 and 2 for us today is Dave Moody. On the Daytona Super Stretch is Kyle Rickey. Over in turns 3 and 4 is Tim Cattle-Famo. At the exit of pit road is Steve Post, covering the midsection for us today. That's Chris Wilson. And at the entrance to pit road and covering everything Reporting at the Alpine Healthcare Center is Brad Kelly.
When they get back to the line, it'll be 40 laps to go in the Daytona 500, and everybody's got to make one final pit stop. They have thinned the herd now at the front of the field there for just a few moments. Corey Hine is going to It evens out once again in a three-wide formation that spans about 11 rows in this field.
It's like a slinky because one will get out in front, then all of a sudden it'll snap right back together. And Dave, they're going to stay that way in turn one.
How tight is it? Well, the last time you did the full field rundown, Christopher Bell was in the lead at the start-finish line. By the time they got to me, he was fifth. By the time they got to the end of the backstretch, he was back in the lead.
Looked like he was going to fade just a bit there about 2 laps ago. Speaking of Christopher Bell,
And this year's three and Christopher Bell pretty much have their way with this entire pack all stepping up.
Looking wounded, if you will, in Austin Dillon and Austin Cindric that are running by themselves on the racetrack. Dave, it's not going to be all that much longer before this lead pack, 3 wide all the way across, catches them.
The last time they had to come up on the lap car was the Austin Dillon machine with no front fenders, hood, or nose. Dillon, they caught him on the backstretch, and he was good enough to move down below the yellow line. He left the field.
got way down on the apron, allowed the entire pack to go by to his outside. That was about 10 laps ago. They may catch him again before it's too long.
From Ford to Chevrolet, and well, Dave, the general is in position, ready to go. The problem is he's got nowhere to go.
Well, that's right. It's like running in a shoebox right now. Cole Custer's got a great race car. He just needs some asphalt to work with.
He is behind Christopher Bell, second car in lane. In the third lane, off of turn number 2, has Chris Buescher now to his inside, along with Riley.
Is starting to move closer to the front. He is now the
middle and third lanes run him down. They get leaving this time. Bubba Wallace gets a nose out in front as they continue this ongoing fight for the top spot.
Into turn number 1 they go, and it's right wide again. Back 6, 7, 8 rows deep. It's got to be frustrating for the guys trapped in the second, third, and fourth row. Last thing you need to get from them is intentions and over-aggressive.
One of those drivers is Chase Elliott, third car in line on the bottom, just trying to crack the top 10 right now.
This is good. This might really shake the pipe up and could be more dangerous.
Austin Dillon and Austin Cindric. Now it's Christopher Bell that sorts out in front. He's going to change lanes. He's going to slide across the nose of Bubba Wallace. Matter of fact, he's going to slide down to the inside across the nose of Corey Hine.
Well, that's the closest thing to a sea change we've had in the last 15 laps. Bell goes to the bottom. Bubba Wallace stays in the middle. And hallelujah, Cole Custer's going to lead on the outside.
Really shuffles things up at the front of the field. Here comes Cole Custer challenging Bubba Wallace now for the race lead. Wallace is dropping home from Chris
And Christopher Bell now has shifted all the way down to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got Corey Hine this time.
Find out what the thinking is down there, starting with Steve Post.
Well, you don't get much out of them. They have very intense deep wheels, and there is a manufacturer strategy and team strategy going on right now. So really tough to get answers down there. I think listening to the conversation, the pace has picked up, which means we're getting closer and closer to that time. And listening to drivers like Ryan Priest, there's
starting to talk about getting to the inside. Actually, watching Christopher Bell there made me think about that as well. I think we're getting close, but boy, the pit stop, when you do them by manufacturer, is a tightly guarded secret. Chris, when Luke, do you have any insight into that?
Listening to the Chase Elliott radio, he seemed anxious early on to want to go. But Alan Gustafson kind of gave him a read on where they were on fuel about 10 laps ago. He said, we're better than those behind us by a pretty good margin, but we're not as good as those ahead of us. Or excuse me, we're better than those ahead of us, but not as good than those behind us. So they feel like that those, basically the mid-pack on back, have saved a lot more fuel than what Chase Elliott and the leaders have had, although the leaders like Bubba Wallace have been setting the pace. Listening to Bubba Wallace radio, the wick is starting to be turned up on the Toyota, so I think we're closing in on the window. I would expect no later than lap 180 we may see cars start to dip on down, but again, it's all about the trying to talk between themselves and start to get organized.
Wallace will take sole possession of the lead. Brad Kelly, what about on the turn 4 end of pit road?
Well, Chris was just mentioning Toyotas, and Tyler Reddick is one team that I've been scanning quite a bit right now. Billy Scott was pretty tight-lipped when you try and go up and ask him, but the one thing they're talking about is actually where they're going to position Tyler on the racetrack. Right now, he's running in the middle lane, but they're expecting the bottom lane to actually disperse a little bit. They even told Tyler if there's an option, go to the top side. He can do that just to avoid some of the people peeling off. That tells me that they intend on going just a little bit longer than everyone else, and that's the bigger story that I'm able to gather from playing the pit road.
32 laps to go in the Great American Race. Here comes the will be Austin Cindric, but Bubba Wallace continues the lead, being shoved by Chris Buescher.
And the positioning that they're talking about is they want to be able to come down with teammates, familiar manufacturers, because you don't want to come down pit road on your own. We talked about that early on in the Daytona 500. You want friends, and you want to be able to draft at full speed once you come back off pit road.
You also want to be on the inside lane for the off-ramp called pit road. Positioning by Christopher Bell a few laps ago, I think, started that dictation. The pace is picked up a little bit here. Bell's on the inside. Bubba Wallace has control of this race up front. He needs to get down to the bottom in front of Busch, in front of the pack. Of course, Busch right in the mix of it at four. Buescher's stuck in the middle. So it's a matter of, if you come, you better be able to get down to pit road and work it out with your spotter. So if they come in too wide.
Here's the race for the lead, and again, drag racing back to turn number 1.
It's Cole Custer in the 41 machine for Haas Factory Team, a Chevrolet in the outside lane of the racetrack. He was near the front at the end of the Daytona 500 last year, and he's back there again. Behind him, Ryan Preece is trying to push him forward. Winner at the Clash last time out. They are neck and neck down the back straightaway, but continuing to gather things up and get ready for that final pit stop of the day.
Preece in that purple View Towels car on the outside, row 2, has a teammate to his left shoulder. The orange and black body card Ford, that's Chris Buescher. They're both Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing teammates.
To go here in the 2026 by 7 1,000ths of a second. It was still Bubba Wallace who led, but Cole Custer topside continues the challenge for the race lead.
Your part in NASCAR history weighing in the balance as we're inside of 30 laps to go in the 68th running of the Daytona 500. The field storms down the back straightaway still in rows of 3 as they make their way back into that 31-degree making of turn 3.
31 cars separated by 1.2 seconds. Yes, all 31 cars in the lap are 1.2 seconds apart, first to last.
Almost hard to even wrap your brain around how close this pack is. As we turn it back over to the Motor Racing Network.
Burst of citrus meets a summer. 20% off at NegoCake.com/zone with promo code RACING20.
Bubba Wallace continues to lead the Daytona 500 with 29 laps to go. Cole Custer, Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain the top 5. Christopher Bell has fallen back to 6th, with Josh Berry in 7th. 8th is Corey Heim, Cody Ware is 9th, and Noah Gragson is 10th, and
There is one final pit stop that needs to take place. The question is, when is that pit stop coming? And if you're in that outside lane or that middle lane, good luck getting down. I think the cycle starts at least there. Out a few more than that, but it's I feel like we're going to start seeing positioning to get these cars to pit road. It's almost like we're going to see.
That's going to be their final pit stop.
Maybe a couple of Chevrolets. I don't think this is going to be as manufacturing organized as we've seen in the past. It's almost like you may have to go with who you can go with. We'll see. We will see. We'll have to figure that one out. I feel like you've got at least a group chat working. These teams will talk within their teams and within OEMs and have a communication about where we can get to. Crew chief to crew chief, where they can get to. We'll have to see how they peel off. But yes, I do think that there will be some opportunities for some unlikely.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Wallace and Cole Custer, they're stacked up side by side, rumbling to one.
Here they come into turn number one. Bubba Wallace has an opportunity to go to the bottom or the top. He can right down the middle of the racetrack.
And here comes Christopher Bell, who leads the inside lane and faded outside of the top 5 a couple laps ago, but they have momentum once again as he gets the draft from Corey Hunt and Riley Hurts. Bell challenge Walker.
Coming laps ago, Christopher Bell on the inside of the racetrack coming off of turn number 4, got the car sideways. Bell has got Corey Heim right behind him, and even though they're not running full throttle.
Factory team. Those two themselves. Christopher Bell, Dave, has fallen back to 6th in line. That's where he is on the leaderboard, but it's almost like he's maintaining pace down low, just not wheel to wheel for the lead.
That's the same Christopher Bell that ran topside in the third groove, battling for the lead for about 15 laps.
He's back on the bottom, but now the second car on the bottom. Bubba Wallace joins him there. Move from the outside lane to the inside, trying to block all 3 lanes into the race here. Bubba Wallace picks up Custer.
A little tight up against the safer barrier where Cole Custer was running. He had to roll under the throttle. Ryan Preece slammed into the back of him. Now he gives Preece.
Closer to that final stop.
Yeah, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. Bubba Wallace would like to get down to the bottom now while the getting is good, and enables him to go to pit road at any time to get going.
Along with some of the other Toyotas that are lined up on the bottom. Christopher Bell in second. Riley Hurts, third car back on that inside.
Riley Hurts is on the inside of the racetrack. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, and AJ Allmendinger. Some of the cars on the bottom side of the racetrack, they're winning.
Stop is coming. We just don't know what lap is going to happen. 24 laps to go. Bubba Wallace has gone from the middle. And he's leading Custer, Buscher, Bell, and Preece.
They come into turn number 1. Bubba Wallace.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Thank you.
Bottom of the racetrack. Running his tire tracks. Christopher Bell tries to squeeze.
Outside lane led by Cole Custer, and he is racing for position number 4 right now, all lined up behind Bubba Wallace. Cole Custer has
Remarkable how patient and friendly everyone has been the last several laps of this stint. I don't think that's going to be the case for the remainder of the race.
23 laps to go. Means 177 goes over. We surveyed our pit reporters a moment ago. The majority were saying around lap 180.
Cole Custer begins that 3-wide run again around the outside. That's a 3-wide battle for second. Bell down low. Buscher
Ryan Preece not close enough to Cole Custer to build that momentum off of turn number 2 and propel the line forward. It's still Bubba Wallace. Chris Busch.
And Custer in that first round of 3
with that final pit stop hanging in the balance.
Bubba Wallace was all by himself at the front of the field a lap ago. That is not the case this time. Here is Chris Buescher, who's outside.
Seems like the pack has picked the pace up the last few laps ever so slightly. Buescher retracting help from two Fords behind him in the form of Barry and Grayson.
They'll fly by the start-finish line again. Bubba Wallace lending tracking assistance. They head to one.
Christopher Bell, who had been the leader of the high line, now in the low lane, trying to shove Bubba Wallace ahead. He'll have some luck at that. Wallace to the lead.
The outside lane fading off turn number 2, led by Cole Custer. They have backslid outside of the top 5. Out the front, here comes Chris Buescher.
Side by side for the race lead. On the bottom of the racetrack in the middle lane is Chris Buescher still fighting hard against the outside wall.
Together, let's drive. 20 laps to go.
Just an older gentleman needed to sit down for a second. That's all. He's fine. No, he's all right. He's all right.
Gloves going on to Walt Anderson.
I helped him earlier. He just has to take his time when he goes down the stairs. That's all.
People keep rushing him and pushing him. It's not fair.
Pit in. Hands out the window. This could be the critical moment for pit stops to begin here in the closing stages of the 60th running of the Great American Race.
Drivers putting their hands out the window, signifying the run behind them. Christopher Bell down mid-pit as everybody else stays on and goes back to turn one.
Yeah, everybody's going to take care of him. He's going to make it down there safe. He came up earlier. We kind of helped him. I put my hand there earlier, helped him up. We're all kind of helping him. He wanted to watch some racing. He's getting it done, too. We're all here to help him, you know. Everybody's kind of throwing in. They're all helping him get down.
There was 6 seconds of fuel on the iPad for Riley Herbst. Also, Christopher Bell came in. He got 4 seconds of Sunoco fuel, and he's away. Field works the
He just needs to take his time, that's all. Everybody's kind of trying to rush him. But he's got to sit down and take a break every now and then, you know?
Got their service problem big. Look how disconnected they are on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right? Put him in
the lead pack are all 4.
No, he's doing good.
Minus Cole Custer and Chevrolet, so they've got to maybe have their wish. Even their middle row.
He's fine.
With the fuel can engaged. It's amazing.
Here comes the lead pack off turn number 4. Does anybody Josh Berry, Noah Gregson, Cole Custer. They stay on the racetrack with Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, and Eric Jones on pit road.
A trio of Toyotas and never count out Denny Hamlin. In these moments, he somehow finds a way. It's not just luck, it's skill, and his team is a really strong contender anytime here at Daytona.
Pit stops continue here with 17 laps to go. We turn it back over to the Motor Racing Network.
was trying to get him down to the bottom, which he was successfully doing. On the racetrack, Chris Buescher has taken the lead. Josh Berry, Noah Gregson, Cole Custer, Greg Keselowski, the top 5, waiting for these cars to come to pit lane. We've got 16 laps to go, and it seems like we've had a couple of Toyotas in different pockets.
Fuel in his car. It's going to be 5 seconds for him. Tyler Reddick also down and away. He gets a nice push out of his pit box.
Slusher goes in. Bailey Walker injects the Sunoco fuel can with 3 seconds. Steve Post.
Adam Hendrickson was in with about 3 seconds of fuel. Also in Adam
Lanes, he will get his service about 185 as well. Directly ahead. At the line, it's Ross Chastain who will go to the point. Carson Hocevar in second. Kyle Busch falls back to third as the leaders approach the lap traffic.
Give way all the way up in the center barrier, giving everybody free passage on the left side. They call them off turn number 2.
Ross Chastain leads his pack of traffic to race inside.
Let me get something out of there for you.
Also, Carson Hocevar, a little trouble getting the Sunoco can injected, but he's down and away. Steve.
Right there, Rob. It's in 5th place. It's right there. man.
Well, the pack that we
Faber.
were describing a moment ago is exiting turn 2. So the Hardy's caution flies with 9 laps to go after Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell get tangled up.
Hey, Rob. Rob.
Frantic racing leads to the end of the day for Christopher Bell.
I'll see if I get a replay of it.
Pit stops. They had rejoined the racetrack and they were going after it, knowing what was on the line. They took to Mobil 1 victory lane in the Great American Race. Jim, unfortunately, it's not going to be Christopher Bell's day.
Hamlin slow route damage, but Christopher Bell's literally was rubbing along the safer barrier, heading to turn 1. Turn 7 or the exit out of the open.
Watch Christopher Bell. He's the middle car in the second line. Meanwhile, racing over actually Denny Hamlin may have gotten some help. Hamlin sideways into Christopher Bell. And Bell hard contact the outside safer barrier. That sent him going down the racetrack very slow, up against the outside wall, and his day is over. Here's another look.
This car got sideways at the most inopportune moment, and that hook right beside it, right rear hook the 20 into the wall. And number 67 is Corey Hine, who's running right behind Denny Hamlin. It's right on board. The car on the far right side of the 67 is Hine. Yep, definitely contact there. Bumper, front bumper, 67 to Hine. Rear bumper of Hamlin. Ratchet up the intensity, no question, with 10 out of 10 on the peg meter.
Here's a ride along with Eric Jones. He was directly behind Corey Hine when he made contact with Denny Hamlin. That launched him into Christopher Bell. And Eric Jones somehow avoiding that mess without any damage. And that is a shot by Christopher Bell. And I didn't realize it, Jim, until that replay right there. Denny Hamlin does have some pretty good contact in the right front of that Toyota. His bid for his 4th Daytona 500 championship might have gone away as well.
Yeah, getting it high-sided there a little bit. You can see the team. They're not going to stop working on it. There's a lot of damage to assess in a very short period of time. We see that some of the tire carcass was wrapped around the right front suspension.
You think they'll have five to go after?
Suspension components.
Biggest question right now, is there any way Michael McDowell has enough fuel safely?
That's who I want right there.
Chance to save more fuel to make it to the finish.
Common thought is if you're out on the racetrack and you should be up by a lap. He's actually on the lead lap. He's on the jet down. These quick laps will help because the fuel is about 2 to 1. 2 pace laps for every 1 lap on the green in terms of fuel mileage. But I think McDowell may have to come in. It's been a long time since we had a caution flag and McDowell on pit road.
Safety crews continuing to work on Christopher Bell on the entrance to turn number 1. Denny Hamlin's crew continuing to work on his machine on pit road. Race fans, pull those phones out. It is time for our first round of the day. NASCAR selfie cam up on NASCAR TV. time by. Some more drivers coming back down pit road just to make some more repairs, top off with some more Sunoco Racing fuel to guarantee it all the way to the end of the finish as we are winding down to the finish of the 68th running of the Daytona 500. You look at the leaderboard, Michael McDowell still on the racetrack, still the one leading this field. A couple of Toyotas behind him that you keep an eye on. Really one Toyota behind him to keep an eye on. Tyler Reddick, haven't talked much about him today, Jim. He is running second, and Carson Hocevar, he's looked fast. He is in third. Brad Keselowski in the number 6. He has never won the Daytona 500 championship. He's won here before. He has never taken home championship here at the Daytona 500.
6.5 years ago, Aspire Motorsports won their very first NASCAR Cup Series race. He was here with Justin Haley in the summer race. I believe that was a few miles run as well. Keep in mind, Michael McDowell was the 31st car in line on the racetrack. I mentioned the 1.2 second difference, first to 31st. McDowell was the last on the lap, so he
have a good one, man.
Say more than others.
Thank you.
Not kind of pigeoned in, not kind of wedged in with a 3 wide, 3 deep, 5 kind of a thing. I think he might be able to play the gas a little bit more. Nothing to lose here. As if he pits now, he's going to come out 30-something. So he's going to probably go for it here. Amazing enough. Well, Mike McDowell proved that he saved enough gas for the last run.
And I tell you what, that's going to put a lot of fear into the competitors behind him, because if McDowell runs out of gas around this 2.5-mile track, it could spell chaos for the rest of the field. As also, too, you got to remember, these drivers get up into the bank and the fuel cell. On the right side of the fuel cell, on that slot to the left. So he's got to be careful to get as much as he can.
Choosing is going to put McDowell as a teammate that's going to pick third. The 71 is McDowell, the 77 is his teammate, Carson Hocevar. They both picked down a lane. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If Hocevar needs the help, he's right behind McDowell on the restart.
And I'm on low power mode.
Uh-oh.
On low power mode, guys. We're hanging in there.
At least when your phone dies, nobody else can call you that's unwanted.
Sorry. I don't know if they have if they're clear to go yet or not.
Still yellow.
Yeah, we don't know if they're gonna clear it. I think. Oh, here they go. Yep, they're gonna go. They're gonna go. They just. Here you go, baber. 4 laps, guys. Here we go.
Get ready.
Yeah!
Race fans, get up, get loud. You can cue the Jaws theme music because everybody is sharks that smell teammate of Carson Hocevar is a great option and leads them back to turn 1.
Reddick clear to the lead.
He'll go to the lead now. William Byron follows through in his back bumper to second. Inside line with the advantage. Brad Keselowski from third.
Michael McDowell continues to lead the outside lane. His tractor to help Carson Hocevar. Make a couple of spots. Tyler Reddick close to the line.
Now shows the way. Hocevar rides it.
Here it comes, outside! Up the back straightaway, top three have singled out. You mentioned that inside lane, led by William Byron. And here comes Carson Hocevar with a shot from Tyler Reddick. Hocevar, the leader, off turn 4. If they make it to It's the top three for the final time in the turn number 3. Chase Elliott blocks the bottom. Zane Smith runs second.
No way, man! Ah! No way!
An unbelievable finish, Brad. You're down in the scrum down there with this winning team.